Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the video. Another episode of my repairs and advice video on my channel. If you're new to my channel, you're in the right place where I give advice on scooter repairs, scooter buying tips, and all issues related to scooter. Today, I'm going to be making two videos. One is going to be about a regular safety check on your scooter because a lot of people don't know that when you have these scooters, uh, things can go wrong sometimes. So you gotta be sure that you keep checking the scooter, especially some vital parts, to be sure that they are intact before you jump on your scooter. Because if it does go wrong, it's not gonna be easy. When you fall on a scooter, it's not something I'm gonna be telling you even on video. It's gonna be very fatal. So to avoid those fatalities of falling off your scooter or your scooter letting you down, I'm gonna be taking you all through few steps of what to check regularly on your scooters if you use your scooter regularly or not. On this scooter right here, I got about 3,000 miles or something. I'm gonna just put this on so y'all can see what I'm saying. So it's on. If y'all can see, if I go here, I've done 3,247.9 miles on this scooter. If y'all don't know what that means, you can convert that to kilometers and see how much that's a lot of miles on the scooter. So the first thing we're gonna be checking on this scooter is that this is a heavy duty scooter. You can have a look at it. It's a big scooter, very heavy, and it's very fast. So when you keep riding this with time, there are several parts of this scooter that might start losing. So the best way to do this, if you ride your scooter regularly, it might be very good that you keep checking vital places like the steering bar. The steering bars, as you can see here, sometimes this thing lose the alarm key out or the steering handle bar in place can lose. So you gotta be sure that you check this to be sure that this is always tight. It's not something you're gonna be doing every single day, but it's something that's worth doing. This could save your life because if you're riding this scooter and the handlebar for any reason loose, now you don't know this just came off, you're gonna go down. It's not about if, it's a matter of when this gonna be losing, and then you're gonna be having fatality. So to avoid that, you keep checking this and check all these alarm kit and be sure that they're all tight enough and they go with all that. And the next thing you're gonna be checking also is your tires. Sometimes the tires where I don't know if y'all can see, but on my tire here, if you look carefully, you can see that the left side of the tire is a bit wetter than the right side. So there's a sign that your suspension, which is this one right here, has start failing. It might be the suspension need adjustment. Some of them, the thing out here, you can either adjust it to compress the spring or adjust it to let the spring comes out. So that's the next thing I'm gonna be looking on my scooter because I can see that the tires are not wearing even. You can see clearly that I've got grip on this side of the tires, but on the other side it's almost smooth as in the middle. That means that my tire is wearing on the right side of my scooter. So the suspension on that need adjusting. If for any reason you can either adjust this and make the suspension go, so that means there's a lot of pressure going on the left side, on the right side of the scooter rather than the left side. So to adjust that, you have to loosen this suspension to come up, or you gotta have to tighten this side. So that's another vital thing that you have to check. And the next thing that you need to check regularly is this nut right here. This right here, they lose with time. It's just yesterday, when I came back, I was riding this scooter. I can see that the scooter was making some grinding noise or whatever it is, and I'm like, so when I got home and I had to look at it, and I can literally turn this nut right here. The nut right here is loose. I can turn it, but I've adjusted. I've actually tightened that yesterday, so it's always tight now. And this is very dangerous because some of the scooters don't have. You see that small hook you got in there, that hook right here. Most of the scooters don't have that, especially if you're buying the cheap one that come, very big scooter with a very low price. They might not put all the safety things in place, and if you don't have this and your nut is loose, you might be riding, maybe not on a high speed, maybe just on a speed that you might think like it's okay, and the bar wheel can just fall off because the bar wheel probably is loose. So when you're riding, the tire keep wiggling by itself and it can just come off, and when that happens, you're gonna go down. And worst of scooters or anything that's on the two wheel is that when you fall down and you don't protect yourself like what I got here, I always ride my scooter with my helmet on and my gloves. It doesn't matter if I'm going 10 miles or whatever, because when you fall down and you bang your head on anything, that could be fatal. It doesn't matter if you're going 1,000 miles or whatever miles you're going, it doesn't matter. But if you fall down, you could have fatality. So it's always good to have a helmet, have something on. If it's not a full face helmet, you can have something that protect your head. And then your gloves as well. It's always good. I always ride my scooter this way. So that's why. So you gotta be sure that you check this all the time and be sure that this nut is not loose. It's always tight. You do it on both sides. You check this one and check the other side and be sure that it's not tight. You do that for the suspensions, because anything that carries you, or anything that the force is exerted on your tires, your suspension and all that, you gotta be sure that you check it. With a brake system, you will know yourself when your brake shoes are on or not. That means that when you're riding your scooter and you hold your brake levers, which are this one right here, and the scooter is not stopping quickly, that means that either your brake shoes need adjustment. By simply turning this small Allen key, screw you can see in the lever right there, you're gonna have to turn it clockwise to push the brake fluid down, and the brake fluid is gonna push the calipers or the brake shoes close to your brake discs. And the same way, if the brake is too sharp and you want to make it loose, you're gonna have to do the same thing, go anti-clockwise, and that will release the pressure on the brake fluid to leave the brake shoes, off the brake discs. This is the brake disc right here, and in these calipers you got your brake shoes in there. So that's what I'm talking about. So these are the main three things that you have to keep checking on your scooter. I know that people say it's just a scooter, come on. I don't have time to be checking this and all that, but I'm gonna say that it's very important that you keep checking that, because if it goes wrong, it's not a matter of saying that, oh, had I not know, whatever. It takes a few seconds to do all this check and be sure that you're all safe before you go on the scooter. So that's just the first part of the video that I want to just make to inform you of how to do, because if you're new to my channel, I've released another video the other day when my Q1 hammer and the steering bar just broke in the middle of the ride, and that could be very fatal. But I was lucky that I was actually riding. I stopped at the junction intending to turn right, and I was waiting for the oncoming traffic to clear for me to turn. The moment I start going, the steering bar, which is this one right here, just came in my hand, and the scooter was on the other side. It could have been very, very fatal, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, I was just lucky that happened just when I was pulling off. So then I had to drag my scooter all the way from there, and I brought enough on the time to made the repairs, and I've made some videos there to show you all how to do the repairs. So if you all got any situation like this where your steering bar is broken and all that, it's not a big thing. You follow that repair videos, and you might be able to get your scooter back on the road. I do all these videos, on my own time, just to help you out, because I know there's a few scooter repairs, companies now, since these scooters are becoming very common, they be ripping people off, and I got a lot of people keep asking me questions on my channel through the test about how to do settings, and I'm doing my best to help you out there to save the few dollars or few pounds of not letting those people rip you off. So the videos are always there. If y'all got a problem and you just want to help yourself, just watch the videos, follow the footsteps, and you might be able to get the stuff going. Now today's very important video is going to be how we change the brake shoes and the brake calipers of this scooters. It might be this one or any other scooters that use the hydraulic braking system. So this is how the hydraulic brake system set up. So you got a black cable here, which is actually very hollow with a hole in. There's a hydraulic fluid inside that. So when you hold your lever, the lever pushes that fluid into the caliper, and the caliper pushes these two, which you can all see. Okay, yeah, let me come to say this two thing right there with the spring in. Those are your brake shoes. That's what we're gonna be changing today. So what I'm gonna do is at some point I'm gonna be putting this camera somewhere just to watch, to show you how to change the brake caliper. But to go on, all you need is you need a key, a set of alarm keys. Don't worry, I have different sets. They're all the same. So I got this. I think I might probably have like two, or I don't know. You know, I have this. So they're all the same size. It doesn't matter which one you get. So you're gonna have to find your alarm key, and the first thing you do, not even touching this, you're gonna have to look for your alarm key. You know, the small one that I think is this size. Then you're gonna go straight to. You're gonna go straight to this side. Your brake system, and the small. You're gonna be seeing something small on this side. Let me just put a camera so you all can see what. So the small alarm key screw inside it. You're gonna have to, I don't know if you all can see. I need a light to show you all to see what I'm doing. So inside there, there's going to be a small alarm key screw, which is going to be about this size, or maybe a little bit bigger than this. By this size, you're gonna have to insert that into the, as you can see, it's in now, and you have to go anti-clockwise. And what we're doing is we're trying to release the tension of the brake fluid, so the brake fluid will not be too close to the brake calipers to push the brake pad, so we can remove the brake pad very easy. So what you do is, don't unscrew all the screws out, just unscrew it to a reasonable level where you can see the thread coming out. So if I pull the distance, I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm trying my best here to get y'all on this. So right, so if I go this way, yeah, so you can see the thread is coming out. So you do it to reasonable side, because you don't want to unscrew the whole thing. Some of them, like this scooter, is actually good. So when you unscrew it to the maximum side, it's gonna be a little bit tight. That means that, say, now it's not. That means that you don't have to unscrew it more, otherwise it's gonna be getting that out. So you will leave it like that. But I believe some of the scooters don't have that mechanism. So that means that when you keep unscrewing it, you can actually unscrew the whole thing out, which we don't want, because if you do that, your brake fluid might probably, like, you know, if there's a pressure, it might come out, or if not, then that means you might be having some problems. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just turn this way, right? So we're gonna be doing the same with this one. So we go the same into the hole there, and again we go anti-clockwise. So we go anti-clockwise so we can see that the thread is all out. So once we have enough thread out, if you're having different scooters, that you can see this one, you see the thread is out and it's tight. You can see that. Let me just focus that for you all can see. So the thread is out and it's a bit tight, you know, it's not moving anymore. That means that's good. So what I'm gonna do is just pull the alarm key out. So now I know there's no tension on any of my hydraulic system. So the next stage is you're gonna have to find another alarm key set that goes in this. So if I look here, you got different alarm keys. So you just gonna have to try to see which one goes in there. And when I look at this is too big, it's not going. So you're gonna be looking. So that is in. So when you got this in, what you're gonna do is go anti-clockwise. You need two hands on it. So if you're doing this, it's gonna be very easy. But I'm doing it with this. So you need two hands on that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just have to position the camera. So what we're gonna be doing next, we're gonna be taking this alarm key board out. We're gonna take this one out, then we can lift the hydraulic caliper out. When we lift the caliper, we're gonna be pulling that spring out, and that will free the brake shoes. Then we can draw the brake shoes, and then we go through the steps that follow. So I'm gonna just put the camera here and then see if I can do it, you know, without holding the phone. I don't know if that's going to show, but I hope so. Right. So I'm going to leave that there. And then I'll come back to this. So this is what, I'm sorry, let me pull this. We don't need this, but this is for safety reason. I'll show you already. So we're going to come this way. And this is what we want to do. So with two hands, you can just go this way and lose that. But what happening with this, you can do that, but I got it too. I always use my torque screw for just easy stuff. You know, I don't want to be, you know, doing that whatever it is. So what I do is I just put the same Allen key size, which I believe it might be one of this one, or maybe a smaller one. Right. So maybe this one. If you have the torque, you know, the screw gun or whatever it is, you know, it's much easier, you know, to get your work done. So I'm gonna use that. But if you don't have it, you can use the Allen key the same way. So pull this one in. That's out. That's out. So when you got that out, you're gonna be just losing that, and be careful because sometimes, you know, some of this might have, you know, a little washers, you know, washers under the washers that put, because sometimes, you know, the caliper might be too low that when you put it in, the brake disc can be grinding in the caliper. We don't want that. So we do that, and we pull this. You can mix them, they're all the same size, so it doesn't matter anyway. So now that we got a caliper out, the next thing we're going to be doing is, I don't know if y'all can see this that hard because now I'm not looking into the camera, just the camera can pick this, but that's very important. So the next thing you're going to be doing is, you got a small spring in between the two brake shoes. You're going to have to pull that out. That's the spring. You pull that spring out. If you got new brake shoes, like I got from, you know, a genuine parts supplies, you're definitely going to be having a new spring with that. If you don't have the new spring with that, you can use the old spring. What you can do sometime is, but I'm gonna have to open the spring a little bit out, so this so the spring can have a bit of compression to work. So now what you're gonna have to do next is drop the brake shoes. So one is out, you pull it into the mirror, and the second one is out. So if you all see the brake shoes, now we just come close so y'all can see. You can see how where the brake shoes are. It's not too bad. This can still work, but this is not, especially when it's raining, this is not gonna stop you. Because when it rains, you need more braking, you know, force on the discs because the disc is wet. So this are not gonna, you know, get you to stop quick. So if you're riding slowly, you might be okay. But with me, sometimes, you know, I ride a bit, you know, faster. So you definitely need to replace this. So the next thing you're gonna be doing is you need a screwdriver, which I'm just gonna come back here. You need a screwdriver, and what you need this for is, inside where the brake shoes sit, there's a brake drum that the hydraulic fluid pushes to push the brake shoes. So you're gonna be inserting your screwdriver just in there, and then push it just back. Just push in the hole and push it back, and do the same for both sides. So any screwdriver, it doesn't matter if it's a small one, as long as you can get into this and just push it back, and then you get your new brake shoes. But you're gonna come like this. So if you look at the brake shoes, so you got this one, which is the new one, and you got this one, which is the old one. You can see, if I go this way, I don't know if you all can see, you can see there's a more thread on this, and this is almost finished. So this, and some situation, I'm gonna just say that if you are in an emergency where you haven't, you know, had a brake shoes, and then you have this problem, I think it might be worth swapping the brake shoe, because sometimes these calipers are set to sit, but it's not the same way like the way the front. They are the same, but the way they sit might be different. So maybe on another caliper, the brake shoe might be wearing a little bit lower than this, than the up. So that means that if you interchange it, bring the old brake shoes from the front side to the back and the back to the front side, it might wait for you for a few days before you got a new part in. By this situation, I decided I'm gonna change the both brake shoes anyway, so I'm not gonna be doing that. And also what I said about tension in the spring, this is the old spring and this is the new spring. You can see that the new spring is a bit wider. A bit wider means that it's a tension. So when you apply the brake goes and hold the disc. When you release the brake, this tension is gonna pull the brake pads away from the brake disc. So that way the discs don't keep grinding on the brake shoes and keep wearing the brake shoes, off when you don't need to, apply the brake. That's why if you don't have a new one, you might just go, and then pull this one apart just like this, and that way you put tension back in it. But I'm gonna use the new one anyway, so there's no problem about that. So next step is you're gonna have to insert your brake shoes in just the way you take them out. So you put one in, and then you hold it with your hand on this side. Sometimes it's a little bit struggling to put both in because these are new brake shoes with more tread on it. So if you don't push, this is the reason why you have to use the screwdriver to push your brake drum in properly. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to get this in easy. But for some, in some cases, it should not be a problem. So you put one on this side, so you put the spring down first, one brake shoes in, and if you want to do it even better, you can put a brake shoe in one side of the drum, and once it sits in, make sure it sits in, then use your screwdriver to push it down. So when you push it on the brake shoe, it's going to be pushing the brake drum down, so that way the brake fluid flow back to the space that you created by unscrewing the small alarm screw that we found within the brake lever to create that space. So you pull one and you put a second one. Sometimes you need time to do this, but it's not like you're gonna be using a lot of time. So it's just a bit of like spend a little bit of time on it. Just push that down. And then the second one goes in. And when you put in the brake shoes, you should pull the powder, the side that came with the thread inside. This side gonna be facing each other, you know what I'm saying? You don't put it and put it back facing or all the way facing that way. That means it's gonna be metal on metal, you're gonna be swallowing your discs. So all the time you make sure that the thread part, where you see the thread part, face each other and the metal side face the drum. Okay, look like this thread is actually very big, so I'm gonna pull the left one and push that drum back as well. Yeah, I got it in, so what I'm gonna do now is just holding in, put the screwdriver and try to like twist it to let it go back. So once that's in, and we know that the oil is now that I'm gonna try and put the second one. The moment you get a second one in, the job is done. I actually want this video to be very, very short. I don't want long videos, but look like, because some of the suppliers, when you buy the brake shoes, they send the brake shoe with a very small thread on it. After a few months, the brake is gone. But these people, I actually got these brake shoes from Kiowa people. So because I know these shoes are the same that work on the Kiowa Q Power and the other one. So I got that one from this one, and I'm using it on this one, even though this is not Kiowa scooter, but it's compatible with it, so that's okay to work. So now let me just see if I can push this in just to put the drum. So yeah, I push that in, so that's in now. So now the next job is, once you push the tool in, you're gonna be putting your new spring. It goes in like you squeeze it and push in between the two brake shoes, and then release it. Then we just push them apart. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna just put it inside the tube. Once you do that, make sure you put your hand at the bottom so the brake shoes don't fall down. Because if you just hold any part of this and be doing that, the brake shoe will just fall down just the way you put it in. So you gotta be sure that you hold the bottom so the brake shoes don't fall down. So now I managed to push mine in. Now it's in. So when it's in, that's all. You don't have to worry anything. You just go back to the process like you pull this and align it and make sure that this go in between the two brake shoes, not from one side. It has to be in between the two brake shoes. And then follow the same step the way you took the brake caliper off by putting your, if your scooter, you know how the washers on it just to leave the caliper up so the caliper is this is not grinding the caliper. You do it the same way, otherwise you might be having a problem. So now the next step is just try to push that and that. I need a bit of light, so I'm gonna use my drill light. So it's there. So what you can do if you're having the trouble, you can actually use a screwdriver to open it up a little bit. Once it's open up, then you can just slide your, it has to be going in the right place. Yeah, it's in the right place. But those shoes, surprisingly, they actually very they got a lot of tread. They got a lot of tread on it, so they actually, even at this stage, they are very tight, which is very good. That means initially when you start riding your scooter, it's not gonna be too free, but after a few miles, it should be okay. So now you can see the brake shoe is in, but it's very tight. You can see the way it's dragging it, but that's not a problem. Once you start turning it, there we go. So what I was saying before, you know, if your scooter come with the washers and you don't put them under and you just screw this down, you see that this is trying to take that. That means that this is touching the inside of the caliper, which we don't want. So remember to put your washers under and then put your alarm key bolt that goes through the washers into the thread. Right. Just have to adjust it. It looks like it's not in a hole. So once you adjust it, it's easy. I mean, once you put the thread, just a matter of using your hand to tighten it, and it should just go through. You do the same with this one. Put the washers under, line it up, and put your alarm key bolt in. There you go. The next step, which I know, like, you know, a lot of people, like, you know, some people, even from some of the companies that supply these electric scooters, say that if you're gonna set up the disc of not catching the brakes, you should hold the brake lever and do that. That's something you can do. But what you gotta understand is, you know, sometimes when you keep riding this scooter by mistake, maybe you jump on something, you know, the scooter tire hits something. This disc sometimes, you know, bend a little bit. You might not see it until you put it. Just like when you take a car to a tire shop, they have to align the rims to be sure that the rim is straight. It's the same with this. But because you're not going to be taking this to the car shop, so the best thing you do is you have to set the disc with a caliper manually with your hand. You have to keep adjusting it. So if you adjust this, so when you pull your alarm key bolt, you don't tighten it all the way, just tighten it a bit to hold. Then now you're going to have to be adjusting it. It's a matter of twisting this a little bit this way, that way, sometimes a little bit that way and this way, and then keep turning the tires. When at the point you turn the tires, and the tires can turn without catching without any noise of the calipers or the brake shoes catching the brake disc, that means that you can finally screw your alarm key bolt on the caliper to secure it. So now you can say it's very tight. This is tight because the shoes on those brake shoes are very, very good. They're not like, you know, any other, because some companies, when you buy your brake shoe new from them, you might be getting something almost close to this because they're cheap. You might say like the brake, like these brake shoes Each one of them, they're in a pack of, so the same like a pack like this is $20, and it's $20 for just this. And you might see the same thing from another company, costs like maybe $5 or something. You'll be like, whoa, yeah, that's cheaper. You pay for what you get, you know what I'm saying? Because when you buy this, $5 one with this, if you're lucky enough to be riding in the dry time, yeah, it might work for you for some time. But the moment you enter the rain and have to apply more power on it, your brake shoes just gonna wear you straight like that. So always, it's good to spend a little bit of money to make sure that, you don't have to be doing your brake change frequently, you know what I mean? So now this is how you change your brake shoes. So the next step is just what I say, you're gonna be adjusting this sideways, a little bit forward, a little bit again. Each time when you adjust, you turn your wheel to see if it turns. You keep doing that till you get it right, then you tighten it, and then your brake shoe is done. So it's the same process for the front one also, so that there's no point of me doing the front one also, showing you all how to do it. So the same way we did the back one, the same way you're going to be doing the front one. So if your scooter is not, stopping properly, especially when it's dry, and your scooter is not stopping properly, it's worth checking the brake shoes. And also, whilst you're gonna be checking the brake shoes, the tray that we unscrew at the beginning is what we call the brake adjuster. So what happened is now the thread is all the way out. I don't know if y'all can see, but we unscrew it all the way out. So now it means it's zero. So if we start riding this scooter, and then for some reason that we can stop the scooter out, the brake is not working properly, you just need to come back here with a small alarm key and then go anti-clockwise, but not all. It's just like the way maybe you can go like 3 turns, like 1, 2, 3, then you hold it there. And then you can try your scooter, you can put it on, raise it up on something just like this, press the throttle, let it toggle, and then press the brake and see how fast the brake responds. If it responds so fast, that means that it's okay. So you keep adjusting this till I will come to a point where you adjust this all the way in and still the brakes are not working. That means that you're gonna have to change your brake shoes. So I'm not gonna make this video longer because I know a lot of people don't have time to sit and watching video. So I'm gonna just end this video here. But before I go, I'm gonna say that thanks for you all for subscribing to my channel, and the new people that subscribe to my channel is the right place that you are. Yeah, you're gonna be having a lot of knowledge about scooter repairs and scooter tips on anything that comes with scooter. Anytime when I got time, I make videos for you all to see, to help you all in a difficult time, and also ride your scooter safely wherever you are. I know these things are very tempting, like you want to try the full power of your scooter. Yeah, you're right, but it's not worth it, because if you fall down trying that speed, you might not have the next day to ride your scooter. So make sure when you're riding it as well, try to get all the kit. I don't ride my scooter without it, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that that it's not a matter of like I'm a great scooter rider, so I'm not gonna fall down. You are gonna fall down. It's just a matter of time, you know what I'm saying? I fall down before. I fall down like 2 times before. Luckily, the first fall it was in the rain and I sleep. I was gonna be fast, so I sleep and I fall down. But I was wearing this helmet, so if I show the helmet, you can see that there's some scratches, somewhere. That's the protection I got from the helmet. If I wasn't wearing this helmet, those scratches on the helmet might be the scratches on my face, on my head. I might not be here today, maybe have the energy or the strength or even be alive in making this video, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna be very, very careful. You're gonna take this seriously. A scooter is a scooter. Anything that moves on the 2-wheel without you pushing it with your leg and all that, even the scooter you push your leg, even if you fall down still, is fatal. So please take the precautions, when you're doing this, so you don't, damage yourself or lose your life just because you want to have fun with scooter. So I'm gonna leave you on now to continue, and at the same time take care of yourself wherever you are around the world. With the coronavirus that is going on, it's on. No matter what happens, we're trying our best, but well, it is what it is. So you all just take care of yourself and be safe out there. Till I make another video for you all on any other episode of my repair videos, y'all take care of yourself. Peace, and I'm out now.